What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Marvel Nerd Talk. My name's Anthony, aka King P, and today we're diving in and examining a few clips from other Avenger movies that, after rewatching, there's a few moments where Marvel might have slipped up and possibly hinted at Doctor Doom. All right. As everyone knows already, and for those that are new here, Robert Downey Jr. is returning back as a new character, Doctor Doom, and a feature in the new upcoming film, Avengers Doomsday, that's coming out December 18th, 2026. So, we all know that Marvel is famous for throwing in Easter eggs in every film they make, right? By hinting to something to come that's coming up or just a comic book reference. However, we all know Marvel loves doing one of two things now. One, they will blatantly just put the Easter egg out there, and two, we as the audience have to do what we do best and dive deep into each scene and find all these Marvel secrets that they threw in there for us. Now, if you guys are new to the channel or returning back, for more head scratching thoughts and ideas, today we're going to discuss and dive into the possibility: did Tony Stark know about Doctor Doom this entire time? Now, after Tony Stark's first interaction with Wanda Maximoff in the beginning of Avengers Age of Ultron, Wanda uses her chaos magic to show Tony a glimpse into the future as what we first thought, but now I'm starting to lean towards a different future or timeline. Now, I'm sure everyone is like, what is he talking about? Because before I started to piece everything together, I was definitely in the same boat as you guys. And have no fear, Marvel Nerd Talk is here for you guys. All right. As of now, December 30th, 2025, there's only 3 clips or scenes that I really want to talk about. And, you know, after rewatching Age of Ultron and Endgame, I noticed a few times of possible really talk of Doctor Doom. Yes, there is hints of Doctor Doom in there, and they have been layered into these films at the moment. And if there's any clips that I've missed, be sure to let me know down below in the comments so we could add in our next episode. But after the first interaction with Wanda, we know Tony is in shock. All right, and is set on a new path. Now, let's talk for a moment about the vision Tony sees and how it really leads us into the next clip that I'm going to be talking about. Once we see the Chitauri whale fly over Tony Stark, it cuts to a scene of the fallen Avengers, starting with the Hulk, following Black Widow, Hawkeye, Thor, and finally with Cap with his broken shield. Now, if we remember back from uh, Avengers Endgame when Captain America versus Thanos, Captain America's shield did split in the same way as shown in this vision, we'll call it. All right. Now, when Tony goes to check on Cap, Cap looks like he's possibly dead, but he awakens and grabs onto Tony, whispering, "You could have saved us. Why didn't you do more?" As the screen slowly pans out, we see Tony looking into space and seeing the giant wormhole and a flood of Chitauri approaching Earth. From here, the audience, we can see what the fear that he really believes right now is in his face, and it's drastic. The man got out of the vision and he was sweating. So he was definitely in fear of something. Now, it's not exactly sure. To this day, we believe he saw the invasion of Thanos. However, the more I watch this, I'm feeling less convinced. All right. That what we saw in Infinity War and Endgame, the 2 times Thanos' army attacked, it was a swarm of Outriders and briefly a few Chitauri guerrillas. in Endgame. So the only time we saw the actual Chitauri attack was in Avengers, which came out in 2012, but Age of Ultron came out in 2015. This is almost 3 years now that has passed. So why would he be having a vision of 3 years ago? I would get it if we saw them again, but we don't. Now, let's put that on the back burner for a moment and jump into the real scene that I believe we all missed. Okay. Now, we all remember, uh, when Captain America and Tony were arguing on the farm, and Clint Barton's wife comes out to ask Tony for a favor for Barton to check out his tractor. Okay, no biggie. So, as Tony's beginning to check out the tractor, now, keep in mind, everybody, I know this is a long shot here. The tractor is green. We'll just leave it there. We'll just speculate, marinate with that a little bit. Okay? So, we then see Nick Fury walk in. They exchange a few comical jabs back and forth. However, the part that breaks Tony is when Nick says, "I'm just an old man that cares very much about you." All right. Now, I want you all to strap in. Bombshells are about to be dropped. Hold on. Hang on. Tony replies, "And I'm the man that killed the Avengers. I saw it. I didn't tell the team. How could I? Saw them all dead, Nick. I felt it. The whole world, too. Because of me. I wasn't ready. I didn't do all I could." Now, Nick responds, "The Maximoff girl is working you, Star. Preying on your fear." Tony responds, "I wasn't tricked. I was shown. Wasn't a nightmare. It was my legacy. The end of the path I started us on. Now, I watched my friends died. You think that'd be as bad as it gets, right? Nope. It wasn't the worst part." Nick replies, "The worst part is you didn't." Oh, hang on. Hold the phone, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just say for a moment of time, really. Tony saw the coming of Dr. Doom. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are saying, "What the hell is he talking about here?" Well, let's break down what he said. "I'm the man that killed the Avengers." This 6-word sentence is the anchor, I believe, in this conversation. Why does he believe he killed them? Why? Why? Now, before we talked about how Tony looked after he saw his vision, right? He looked like he was in fear. But he now elaborates that he wasn't tricked into fear. He was shown. It was a nightmare. It was his legacy. So, guys, the more and more I read this and watch this scene, the more it makes me think he saw himself as possibly Dr. Doom. All right. Now, that's a pretty heavy clip that we all had to discuss there, because that's just the first real reference I think we got of Doctor Doom, and no one picked it up. Let's jump into the second clip now. So, now this second clip is taking place in Avengers Endgame. So, when Tony and Cap had to redirect back to another timeline after they traveled back to 2012 to acquire the Space Stone, but in a turn of events, Loki gets a hold of it, and that leads us into the Loki series, which I do recommend everybody going to watch. I must have watched season 1 and 2 about, I don't know, 4 or 5 times now. It is absolutely amazing. But not to get off topic, we do follow. Now, we do get a bit caught up. We follow back to a scene where Tony and Cap are in an elevator at the army base. So, When Tony walks out of the elevator, Tony says, I mean, when Cap walks out of the elevator, Tony goes, "Good luck with your mission, Cap." And Cap replies, "Good luck with your project, Doctor." In that same pause that he does. Now, hold the fudging phone here. Because was that the clearest evidence of Tony or RDJ being hinted as Dr. Doom? Now, if you put subtitles on and watch how Cap responded, you can see he's somewhat paused or hesitated to say doctor. Now, I'm no conspiracy theorist here. However, come on. Marvel is very good at throwing little things like this in the movies, and they hope for people like us to find it and speculate. Now, onto the last clip. We do it's not as big as the past two, but it is something I do want to point out there. Um, in an exchange of words between Captain America and Tony Stark, uh, after the Hulk snapped his fingers with the new Infinity Gauntlet to bring everyone back, Thanos uses the portal to arrive in the present time to collect the stones and use them himself. However, before he decimated the Avengers facility and scattered everybody, we follow up onto Tony finding and waking up Cap saying, "You mess with time, it tends to mess back. You'll see." Now, why would he say that? Could he just be indicating that because of Thanos, or to me, and I'm sure there's a lot more of you out there that believe this as well now, Tony was or is talking about possibly when Cap goes back and decides to stay. We don't know, but we have been hearing a lot of rumors that Doctor Doom is blaming Captain America uh, for causing the incursion when he didn't return to his proper timeline. So, I don't know. But I truly believe at this point that they have been hinting to us about Doctor Doom for a while. Well, be sure to leave your thoughts and ideas on these flashback scenes in the comment section down below as well. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, and if anybody hasn't already done it, tap that sub button. Again, this really helps the channel grow, so very much appreciated. But don't forget, by subbing to the channel also keeps you in the loop on all the breaking Marvel news, as well keeps you guys informed on all the hot topics. But until the next episode, see you guys in a bit.